In this video, I'm going to talk about MS symptoms in women and the culprit being stress and how to reduce it. We're going to look at 3 different areas: how stress is an enemy and a friend, how having healthy habit systems can reduce stress, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share a bonus on some hacks that I use around stress, quick hacks. I'm Jen Tracy, and this is Women Thriving with MS. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to click that button below and do it now. Also, if you want to find out about our Women Thriving with MS membership and get on the waitlist, click the waitlist link below and we'll send you some more information. So let's jump into the video. First of all, we are going to talk about stress as the enemy and as the friend. So as the enemy, we know that stress, when we have stress in our life, it really activates our whole body system, right? We can go into fight or flight like that. And we want to, of course, reduce the stress. So the enemy of stress is that it can activate MS symptoms. Now, I'm speaking from personal experience. I am not a doctor or a nurse or a medical person. I know that when I have been under a great deal of stress, what happens is I can have a vertigo relapse. It can kick in. Not all the time, right? This is the weird thing, is that even though stress can be an enemy to us, we want to look at a factor around stress that is something that can consume us as women that live with MS. And that is the area of uncertainty in our life. You know, when you are diagnosed with MS and you all of a sudden have this extreme uncertainty in your life, and you go online and you read about all the horrible things that can happen with MS, it sends you into the rabbit hole, right? And that creates stress. So, then we're like, well, we don't like uncertainty, right? Uncertainty is our enemy, right? And that's because it can cause stress, and it just gets the mind going, and we start to feel crazy and, yada, 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 right? However, if we just had certainty in our life, right, all the time, right? If everything was certain in our life, so, we're all zen, there's no stress happening at all. Maybe that, calms your nervous system, which then reduces your stress, which reduces the likelihood of having MS symptoms, then life can be pretty darn boring. And that's why stress is also a friend, because we need a certain amount of stress in our life to motivate ourselves to do things. So if we're feeling fatigued all the time, if you're feeling fatigued because of MS, I wake up in the morning with MS, I go to bed with MS, and if I were just allowing myself to have this certainty in my life, like I'm just gonna get up in the morning, without an alarm, I'm going to get up and I'm just going to start my day and I'm going to do this and that and whatever, then we have certainty, right? But for those of you that can no longer work or have had to retire early because of MS symptoms, then all of a sudden your schedule has been completely wiped away, right? And then you're back to uncertainty again. And that's why when we look at balance in our life, we want to have some certainty and some uncertainty, right? Certainty gives us sort of that calm, even flow in our life around what's predictable. So we don't have control over what's predictable around the disease of MS, right? But we do have control over, to some degree, what's predictable in our life in terms of our routine. And at the same time, when you have your routine totally taken away from you because you're not getting up in the morning to go to work at a certain time and get into that structure of things, then that can create uncertainty and instability, right? So that brings us to point number 2, which is about developing healthy, what I call healthy habit systems, right? Meaning that we want to do things that are healthy for our body and we want to have habit systems in place for ourselves and routines in place so that we can, number one, have some certainty in our life, right? And number two, have a routine that is going to help us to manage stress, basically reducing that stress, and also to thrive in our life. And thriving is going to be different for every single one of us, right? As women who want to thrive with MS, we have to strive to thrive. We need to put things in place first that are going to create that. So think about, if you were to look at your life right now in terms of routine on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low and 10 being, super routine, like every single moment of every day, right? Every minute of every day, then where would you put yourself at now? Are you down below the 5 or the 3 or even at the 1 on that scale around routine because you've lost it around the time of your diagnosis, or at a point where the MS got to the point where you're experiencing fatigue or brain fog or other symptoms that are impacting your life that you could no longer work again, right? So we want to gauge that. And if you're in the routine and you're below a 5 or even a 6 or a 7, then it's understandable that your stress is going to be a lot higher. Now, we do want to have that stress in our life because having stress is healthy. It motivates us to do things. It motivates me to get up in the morning when I know I have something that I'm trying to get to do. Even if I have a little bit of stress around it, I get excited about getting out of bed because I have something to do, right? And that's really important, right? So we want to have some level of stress in our life to get us going, and we want to have this healthy habit system. So when I talk about healthy habit systems, what I'm referring to there are routines that we create in our life that support ourselves. For example, one of the habit systems that I have in place in order to deal with the fatigue in my life and functioning at the best level that I possibly can is I build in naps into my day. One nap in particular, and that is in the afternoon, and it's usually after lunch or even a little bit later than lunch. And I know that I'm going to be doing that. It's part of my life. It's a healthy habit system. It's a routine that I have, a structure that I have in place. In the morning when I get up, I often get up and I do my stretches in the morning. If I have time, sometimes I have a commitment, I can't get to that. I do my stretches in the morning. It's good for my body. It's calming for my nervous system, and that reduces stress, and it feels good. Things that feel good help, right? And we want to have that in our life. So think about one habit system that you could put in place for yourself on a consistent basis. I'm going to be doing another video where I'm going to be talking about SMART goals. So once I do that video, I'm going to put that one, I'm going to link it to this one so that you can watch it afterwards. So stay tuned for that. So the key here is to have at least starting with one healthy habit system, one routine that you can do consistently in your life, which is going to be good for you, that you know is important to living life better with MS, and that is going to also reduce that stress for you. Now, it sounds easy, and sometimes it can be easy to put in place, and that's why actually I'm going to be launching the membership for weTHRIVE for women as of, April 22nd. And that's because it's a system that's going to support you, not only with setting up goals for yourself so you can build these healthy habit systems, but also matching you up with a buddy in the membership community so that you can have support, because accountability is really important. But before that even happens, before you even sign up on the wait list for that, know that you can put something in place, and also maybe start by looking at what healthy habit systems do you already have in place for yourself. I'm sure you probably have things that you're doing. Maybe it's not even conscious that you're doing them to reduce stress in your life, but most of us have some systems put into place that we do on a regular basis that are good for us. Think about one thing that maybe you've started but you're not consistent with, and that's a really good place to start. Okay, so that's number 2. So now you've stuck around for the bonuses. These are some quick hacks that I have here. And these are things that I have learned along the way as a coach, a certified coach that's had training. So one thing is, if you are feeling very stressed out, like let's say that you came back from an appointment with your neurologist and you got some bad news, or you're just having a bad day. So your nervous system is really ratcheted up, right? You might even not even be in fight or flight. You might even be in the state above that in the system, which is freeze. One of the fastest ways to change that as quickly as possible is to change your body temperature. So if you are feeling warm, you can do something cold. And the fastest way to do it is just to, for example, put some ice in a glass and drink some ice water, or to take a piece of ice and put it in your mouth. It changes your body chemistry very quickly. The other thing is, if you have the capacity and the ability, you can hop in the shower and have a hot shower. It doesn't have to be a long one. It's just about changing your system super quick. That's the key. The other one is breathing. And one of the breathing techniques that can work very, very well. And part of it's about just changing your focus, right? So this one can be really good. What you do is, you don't have to close your eyes if you don't want to. I just like to, but I'll try not to do that on camera. Breathe in deeply through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Now, I'm dealing with a bit of allergies today, so breathing isn't at the top of my list of abilities. You're going to do that 5 times. I'm just going to do it 3 because you can see my breathing's a little noisy today. It's okay, and you want to have noisy breathing. Like, it's okay to have noisy breathing. So that's the key. So those are 2 things: change your body temperature, breathing, and also one other one that I like is putting on some music to a song that you love, and if you can blast it. If you're not too sensitive to that, we all have different sensitivities, different things. And I just listen to a song, and if you can even wiggle around, or if you're able to get up and move around to dance a little bit, like something that really gets you pumped up, something that feels good, right? You can just find something on YouTube and sing along. That can be just, it changes your state of being, right? And these are just quick hacks that you can put in place. So let's go back to just an overview of what we've talked about here. So number 1, around stress being the enemy or friend. We have certainty in our life and we have uncertainty, and both are important. And obviously you can have a negative connotation of uncertainty with MS because, we are living in times where we are adapting to a new normal constantly, right? It's a continuum. But having consistent certainty and uncertainty is important, because having a little stress in our life is what gets us out of bed. It gets us motivated. It gets us moving, right? Now, when we have habit systems, number 2, what that does is it puts a routine in place for us so that we have consistency and a level of certainty that we have control over, because we're running the show around that. And whatever that might be for you, stretching in the morning, could be meditation. What else would I say? Well, I take naps in the afternoon, but something that creates routine in your day and consistency as much as possible. I nap Monday to Friday, but I also take naps on the weekend. Occasionally it doesn't happen, but that has become something certain in my life, something consistent, a healthy habit system. And then the 3 hacks: changing your body temperature through hot or cold. Number 2 was, what was it? The breathing technique. And gosh, now I can't remember the 3rd, but you know, you can go back and watch it on the video and you'll get that. So just a reminder, I do have a membership group that's launching called weTHRIVE for women who want to connect and discover how to thrive while living with MS and fatigue. It's about getting support, being guided, having a buddy to help guide you, and it's going to be super fun. So if you're interested, click that waiting list link below. April 22nd is the kickoff for that launch, and I'm so excited about having you there. If you want to receive more of these videos and you haven't subscribed, do it now. Click that button. I'm Jen Tracy from Women Thriving with MS, and thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.